The envelope arrived on expensive cream paper, hand-delivered to his office at midnight. Dante Rossi's fingers trembled, something that hadn't happened in 8 years, as he read the single line written in elegant script, "I know what you did, and I forgive you." No signature. No return address. But he recognized the handwriting immediately. His blood turned to ice. Emma. The woman he'd destroyed. The woman he'd spent nearly a decade trying to forget. She'd found him. And somehow, that terrified him more than any bullet ever could. This is a story that will grip you from beginning to end, a tale of betrayal, redemption, and a love that refused to die. If you want to know how everything began and where this devastating journey leads, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Every view matters. Emma Hayes wiped down the last table at Rosie's Diner, her third job that week. Her feet ached, her back screamed, but she kept moving. That's what she did. Kept moving, kept surviving. At 28, she'd perfected the art of making herself invisible. "Table 6 needs ketchup," Rosie called from the kitchen. Emma grabbed a bottle and headed over, barely glancing at the customer. Then she froze. Her hand locked around the plastic bottle so tight it nearly burst. Dante Rossi sat in the corner booth, looking like sin wrapped in a $10,000 suit. 8 years had sharpened him, his jaw more defined, his shoulders broader, his presence more commanding. The boy she'd loved had become a man the world feared. Their eyes met. Time stopped. She watched his face drain of color. Watched his hands freeze halfway to his coffee cup. Watched the legendary control slip for just 1 second before that iron mask snapped back into place. Emma. Her name came out like a prayer and a curse. "Your ketchup." She set it down with a steady hand that cost her everything. "Can I get you anything else? You work here." His voice was rougher than she remembered. "I work 3 places. This is one of them." She pulled out her order pad. "Are you ordering or just taking up space?" Something flickered in those dark eyes. Pain, maybe. Good. She hoped it hurt. "I've been looking for you," he said quietly. "Well, congratulations. You found me." Emma turned to leave, but his hand shot out, catching her wrist. The touch burned like acid. "Don't." His grip gentled immediately. "Please. 5 minutes. I gave you years, Dante. You don't get 5 minutes." She pulled free and walked away, her heart hammering so hard she thought her ribs might crack. In the kitchen, she braced against the counter, forcing air into her lungs. Rosie looked up from the grill, concern creasing her weathered face. "You okay, honey?" "Fine." Emma's voice shook. "Just an old acquaintance." Through the serving window, she could see Dante still sitting there, staring at nothing. His phone buzzed repeatedly on the table. He ignored it. The dinner rush started, giving Emma an excuse to stay busy. But she felt his eyes following her every movement. When she came out with orders for other tables, she deliberately avoided looking at him. After an hour, he finally stood. Left a $100 bill for a $4 coffee. Walked out without another word. Emma exhaled. Found the note tucked under the bill. "I'm sorry. I need to explain. Please. D." She crumpled it and threw it away. Some things couldn't be explained. Some betrayals couldn't be forgiven. That night, walking to her tiny studio apartment 12 blocks away, she felt the SUVs before she saw them. 3 black vehicles, engines purring like predators. They kept pace with her, not threatening, just there. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Tell them to leave me alone, or I'm calling the cops." "Emma, please. I just want to make sure you get home safe." "I've been getting home safe for 8 years without you." "The neighborhood's dangerous. The most dangerous thing in my neighborhood right now is you." She hung up. The SUVs disappeared at the next corner. But she knew they didn't go far. Inside her apartment, one room with a hot plate and a bathroom the size of a closet, she finally let herself shake. She'd prepared for this moment for years. Practiced what she'd say, how she'd act. And it had almost worked. Almost. Her phone buzzed again. This time, a message. I know you hate me. You should. But I never stopped. She deleted it before reading the rest. She couldn't afford to know what he never stopped doing. Couldn't afford to care. The next morning, Emma woke to find an envelope slipped under her door. Inside, a check for $50,000 and a business card. Dante's private number. She tore the check into pieces. But she kept the card. For 3 days, Dante appeared everywhere. At the diner. Outside her second job at the laundromat. Walking past when she left the corner store with groceries. He never approached. Just watched, like a ghost haunting his own past. On the 4th day, Emma snapped. She marched straight up to his car, a sleek black Maserati that cost more than she'd make in a lifetime, and yanked open the passenger door. "Get in," he said. "No. You get out. We're doing this here now, so you can stop following me like some creep." Dante stepped out of the car. Up close, she could see the exhaustion carved into his face, the shadows under his eyes. Good. He should lose sleep. "I know I have no right to ask for anything," he started. "You're right. You don't. But I need you to understand why. Why you left me?" Emma's laugh was sharp enough to draw blood. "Oh, I understood perfectly. Your father gave you a choice, the family business or the poor girl from the wrong side of town. You chose power. Simple." It wasn't simple. His jaw clenched. "My father threatened." "I don't care what he threatened. You made your choice. You stood me up at the courthouse, Dante. I waited for 3 hours in a $5 dress, thinking maybe you were just late. Then your brother showed up and told me you'd left the city. That I should forget you existed." She watched him flinch. "Good. You want forgiveness? Fine. You're forgiven. Now leave me alone." She turned to walk away, but his next words stopped her cold. "Marco told me you were dead." Emma spun around. "What?" "My brother. He said there was an accident. That you died in a car crash 2 months after I left." Dante's voice cracked. "I've spent 8 years thinking you were dead, Emma. I mourned you. He stopped, jaw working. 3 weeks ago, I found out the truth. That Marco lied. That you were alive. I've been searching for you every second since." The world tilted. Emma grabbed the car for balance. "You thought I was dead?" "Yes." The single word carried the weight of years. Her mind raced. Marco had come to her after Dante left, threatened her, paid her to disappear. She'd been pregnant, desperate, terrified. She'd taken the money and run. "I don't believe you," she whispered, even as part of her wondered if it could be true. "I have the death certificate Marco forged. The fake accident report. Everything." Dante pulled out his phone. "Please. Let me show you." "No." Emma backed away. "It doesn't matter. Even if that's true, you still chose to leave. You chose your family over me. I chose wrong." The raw honesty in his voice nearly broke her. "I've paid for that mistake every day since. And if you want me to suffer more, I will. But first, let me explain. Let me tell you what really happened that day." Emma hesitated. She should walk away. Should protect herself. But God help her, part of her still wanted to know. 1 hour, she said finally. "You get 1 hour. Then you leave me alone forever." Relief flooded his face. "Thank you. Can we go somewhere private? Please. I don't want anyone overhearing this. Against every instinct screaming at her to run, Emma nodded. She got in the car. Dante drove them to a penthouse overlooking the city. The place was obscenely expensive. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble everything, furniture that probably cost more than her yearly salary. "You've done well for yourself," Emma said coldly. "Blood money." He poured her water, remembered she didn't drink alcohol, and sat across from her. 8 years ago, my father called me to his office the morning of our wedding. Said if I married you, he'd have you killed. Simple as that. Emma's hands shook around the glass. He had photos of you leaving your apartment, buying your dress, laughing with your friend. He knew everything. And he told me that if I tried to warn you, if I tried to run away with you, he'd hunt us both down. The only way to keep you alive was to let you go. So you just left? I tried to find a way out. Spent 2 hours begging him, offering him anything. He wouldn't budge. Finally, I agreed to his terms. I sent Marco to tell you I was gone, to give you money to start over. I thought, his voice broke, I thought you'd hate me, but you'd be alive. That was enough. Then Marco told you I died. 2 months later. Car accident, he said. Quick. Painless. I fell apart. My father used my grief to cement my place in the family. I became what he wanted, ruthless, cold, efficient. Because nothing mattered anymore. You were gone. Emma stood, pacing to the window. The city sprawled below, millions of lights. Millions of lives. Hers should have been one of them. Happy, simple, far away from this world. 3 weeks ago, Dante continued, I found Marco's burner phone. Found text messages to someone about the girl and keeping her quiet. I confronted him. He confessed everything. How he'd faked your death to keep me under control. How he'd paid you off to disappear. How he'd been tracking you for years to make sure you never came back. Why tell you the truth now? He didn't mean to. He was drunk, bragging about his manipulations. Dante's hands clenched. I broke his jaw. Cut him out of the family. He's lucky I didn't kill him. Emma turned to face him. And your father? Dead. Heart attack, 3 years ago. That's when I took over completely. He stood slowly, like approaching a wild animal. Emma, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know I destroyed everything we had. But you need to understand, I never wanted to leave you. I thought I was saving your life. You were wrong. The words came out flat. I wasn't in danger. Not from your father. I was only in danger from Marco, and you handed me right to him. Dante's face went white. What do you mean? This was it. The moment she'd been preparing for. Emma reached into her purse and pulled out a photograph. Handed it to him. A little girl, 7 years old. Dark curly hair. Deep brown eyes. Dante's eyes. Her name is Sophia, Emma said quietly. She's your daughter. And she's the reason I took Marco's money and ran. Because he told me if I didn't disappear, your father would make sure I had an accident. And I couldn't let my baby die before she even had a chance to live. The photograph slipped from Dante's fingers. His knees buckled. He caught himself on the couch, staring at the picture like it held the secrets of the universe. I have a daughter? His voice was barely audible. You had a daughter. But you gave up that right 8 years ago. Emma, he looked up at her, and she saw something she'd never seen in Dante Rossi's eyes before, complete devastation. Please, please let me meet her. No, I'm begging you. You think you can just walk into her life because you found out she exists? You think 8 years of absence can be fixed with what? Money? Power? Your name? I think—" He stood slowly, like a man who'd been shot and didn't know it yet. "I think I've been dead for 8 years, and you just told me I have a reason to live. I think I'll do anything, give up anything, to be part of her life. To be part of your life, if you'll let me. I don't need you. I know." He moved closer. "But maybe she does. Maybe she deserves to know her father. Maybe she deserves a chance I didn't get, to choose for herself." Emma's eyes burned. She'd promised herself she wouldn't cry, wouldn't show weakness. "She asks about you," she whispered. "Every birthday. Every Father's Day. She asks why her daddy doesn't love her enough to stay." Dante made a sound like something inside him had shattered. "I'll tell you what, Dante. You want to meet her? You want to prove you're not the man who walked away." Emma stepped closer, her voice hard as diamonds. "You do exactly what I say. You follow my rules. You don't get to be daddy until you earn it. You don't get to buy her love or intimidate your way into her heart. You show up, consistently, for as long as it takes. And if you hurt her, if you disappoint her even once, I will make sure you never see either of us again. Yes. No hesitation. Whatever you want. I'll do it. Tomorrow. 3 p.m. Washington Park Playground. You come alone. No guards, no guns, no luxury cars. You come as a man, not a mafia boss. And you let her decide if she wants to know you." "I'll be there." Emma picked up the photograph and walked to the door. Paused. "For what it's worth," she said softly, "I loved you once. Loved you so much it nearly killed me when you left. But that girl is dead, Dante. The woman I am now? She doesn't forgive. She doesn't forget. And she sure as hell doesn't trust." She left him standing there, surrounded by luxury that suddenly looked like a prison. Dante arrived at the playground at 2:45 p.m. He'd changed into jeans and a simple black sweater, the most normal clothes he'd worn in years. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. Emma appeared at exactly 3 o'clock, holding the hand of a little girl who had his eyes, his chin, his stubborn expression when she studied something carefully. Sophia. His daughter. His heart stopped and restarted and stopped again. "Sophia, this is an old friend of Mommy's," Emma said carefully. "His name is Dante. He wanted to meet you." The little girl looked up at him with those impossible eyes. "Hi. Hi." His voice cracked. It's very nice to meet you." "You're tall." Sophia tilted her head. "Are you nice?" "I try to be." Dante knelt down to her level. "Your mom tells me you like the playground." "I like the swings. But Mommy gets tired pushing me." She looked at Emma. "Can he push me? If that's okay with him." "I would love to," Dante said, meaning it more than anything he'd ever said in his life. For the next hour, he pushed his daughter on the swings. Watched her go down the slide. Caught her when she jumped off the monkey bars. Every second felt like a gift he didn't deserve but would treasure anyway. Emma sat on a bench, watching them. Dante caught her eye once and saw something there. Pain, maybe. Or hope. He couldn't tell. When Sophia ran off to play with another child, Dante sat down next to Emma. "She's perfect," he said quietly. "She is. Thank you. For this. For letting me meet her." Emma didn't respond for a long moment. Then, "She has your stubbornness. Refuses to give up on anything. Even people who've given up on her. I never gave up on you. You left. I made a choice I thought would save your life. If I'd known," he stopped, "I'd do anything to go back. To choose differently. But you can't. Emma finally looked at him. None of us can. We can only choose what to do now. Then let me choose right. Let me be here for her. For both of you. We don't need your money, Dante. I'm not offering money. I'm offering myself. Whatever you need. However you need it. I'll show up. Every day. For as long as you'll let me. Before Emma could respond, Sophia came running back, breathless and glowing. Can Dante come for dinner? She asked. Emma's jaw tightened. Sweetheart. Please? He seems nice. And you said we could have pizza tonight. I want him to have pizza too. Dante looked at Emma, leaving the choice to her. Watched her internal war play across her face. One dinner, she said finally. But we're not going anywhere fancy. We eat in my apartment. Perfect. They walked the 12 blocks to Emma's studio. Dante tried to hide his horror at the neighborhood, the building with its broken elevator, the apartment that was barely larger than his closet. This is where they'd been living. While he'd been drowning in luxury, his daughter had been sleeping on a fold-out couch in a one-room apartment. It's small, but it's ours, Emma said, defensive. It's home, Dante corrected. That's what matters. Over pizza, cheap delivery that tasted like cardboard but felt like a feast, Sophia asked him questions. What's your favorite color? Do you like ice cream? Have you ever seen a real elephant? He answered each one honestly, treasuring every moment of curiosity, every giggle when he said something funny. After dinner, Sophia showed him her drawings. Her books. Her most prized possession, a stuffed rabbit named Mr. Hoppers. He sleeps with me every night, she said seriously. He protects me from bad dreams. He seems very brave, Dante said, just as seriously. At 8:30, Emma announced bedtime. Sophia hugged Dante without prompting, a quick, fierce hug that nearly destroyed him, and skipped to the bathroom to brush her teeth. She likes you, Emma said quietly. I like her too. So much it hurts. She's easy to love. She gets that from her mother. The words slipped out before he could stop them. Emma looked away. You should go. She'll want to say good night, but then you need to leave. Can I come back? Tomorrow. Dante. Please. Not for me. For her. Let me be consistent. Let me show her I'm not going to disappear. Emma's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and her face went pale. What's wrong? Nothing. I need to pick up an extra shift tomorrow at the laundromat. The owner's desperate. How much do you need? Don't. Her voice was sharp. Don't try to fix this with money. I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm asking how much you need so I can make sure you don't have to choose between spending time with Sophia and paying your bills. $200. But I'm not taking your money. It's not my money. It's Sophia's. I've missed 8 years of supporting my daughter. Let me make up for lost time. Before Emma could argue, Sophia emerged in pajamas decorated with stars. Good night, Dante, she said, hugging him again. Good night, princess. The word slipped out naturally. Sophia's eyes went wide. Mommy calls me that. That's because you are one. After she went to bed, Dante pulled out his wallet. Put $500 on the tiny kitchen counter. That's too much, Emma protested. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. He moved toward the door, then turned back. Emma, I know I don't deserve a second chance. I know I destroyed what we had. But I'm asking anyway. Let me prove I can be the man you needed 8 years ago. Let me prove I can be the father she deserves. And what if you can't? What if the MAFIA boss can't also be a dad who shows up for soccer games and school plays? Then I'll fail. But at least I'll fail trying. He opened the door. I'll be back tomorrow. Same time. If you don't want me to come up, I'll wait outside. But I'll be here. He left before she could argue. Outside, Dante leaned against the building, breathing hard. His phone buzzed with 47 urgent messages. Business crises. Territory disputes. Things that would have consumed him yesterday. Today, they didn't matter at all. He had a daughter. A beautiful, perfect daughter who looked at him like he might be worth knowing. And Emma. God. Emma. Still fierce, still strong, still the only woman who'd ever made him feel like a man instead of a monster. He'd lost them once through cowardice disguised as protection. He wouldn't lose them again. For 2 weeks, Dante showed up. Every day. Sometimes for hours, sometimes for just a few minutes. He met Sophia after school. Brought her books. Helped with homework. Played endless games of Go Fish. He never missed a day. Emma watched, waiting for him to slip. To cancel because of business. To show up with guards because he couldn't resist the security. To try to buy Sophia's love with expensive toys. He never did. He came as just Dante. Not the boss. Not the heir. Just a man trying to know his daughter. On the 15th day, Emma's world exploded. She came home from work to find her apartment door hanging open. Inside, destruction. Furniture overturned. Drawers emptied. And spray-painted on the wall in red, "The boss's whore pays the price." Her blood froze. Sophia was at school. Emma had 30 minutes before pickup. Her phone rang. Unknown number. "We have something you want," a voice said. Male. Rough. "You have something we want." "Who is this?" "Name's Enzo Vitali. My family has a problem with Dante Rossi. Turns out, he has a problem with us hurting his new little family. So here's the deal. You bring him to the old warehouse on 5th Street. Midnight. Alone. Or we make sure his daughter becomes an orphan." The line went dead. Emma couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. This was exactly what she'd feared. Why she'd hidden for 8 years. Why she'd tried to keep Dante away. She called him. No preamble. "Someone knows about Sophia. They want you at a warehouse. Midnight. They threatened to kill her. Where are you?" "My apartment." "Stay there. I'm 3 minutes away." He arrived in 2. Burst through the door with 4 armed men, took one look at the destruction, and his face went deadly calm. "Tell me exactly what they said." Emma repeated the conversation, her voice shaking. "This is why I didn't want you in our lives. This is what happens when. This is what happens when I'm not protecting you properly." Dante pulled out his phone. "Tony, I need Sophia picked up from school."
"No."
"Take her to the safe house. Full security detail. No one gets within 100 feet. What are you doing?" Emma demanded. "What I should have done 8 years ago. Putting my family first." He cupped her face gently. "I'm going to end this. Tonight. And then you and Sophia are going to live somewhere safe. Somewhere these bastards can't touch you." "No. I'm not letting you dictate." "Emma, please." His voice broke. "I've lost you twice. I just found my daughter. I can't." He stopped, jaw clenched. "Let me protect you. Both of you. That's all I'm asking." Emma wanted to argue. Wanted to prove she didn't need him. But the truth was, she was terrified. "What's your plan?" "I'm going to that warehouse. But not alone. And not as bait." The dangerous man emerged, the one who ruled an empire. Enzo Vitali just made the biggest mistake of his life. At midnight, Dante walked into the warehouse. Emma watched from a car outside, surrounded by guards, her heart in her throat. Inside, a dozen armed men. Enzo Vitali in the center, smirking. Rossi. Right on time. You threatened my family. Dante's voice was cold as death. That was stupid. Your family? You mean the whore and the... He never finished. Dante moved like violence personified, disarming the closest guard and putting a gun to Enzo's head in under 3 seconds. You're right, Dante said softly. My family. My daughter. My future. And you tried to hurt them. You can't kill all of us. I don't have to. The warehouse doors exploded open. 50 men poured in, Dante's men, heavily armed, strategic. The Vitali guards were disarmed in seconds. Dante pressed the gun harder against Enzo's skull. You have 2 choices. 1. You and your entire family leave this city tonight. Forever. I hear even a whisper of your name again, and everyone you love dies screaming. 2. You die right now, and I make sure your family knows why. You're bluffing. I've killed for less. The only reason you're still breathing is because my daughter taught me that mercy is possible. Dante's voice dropped to a whisper. Choose. Enzo chose life. 30 minutes later, the Vitali family was escorted to the city limits with a very clear message. Never return. Emma met Dante outside the warehouse. He was covered in blood, not his own, and shaking with adrenaline. It's done, he said simply. You could have died. I couldn't let them hurt you. Either of you. He pulled her close, and she let him. Emma, I know I don't deserve you. I know I've failed you in every way that matters. But I love you. I've loved you since I was 20 years old, and I'll love you until I'm dead. I don't need you to love me back. I just need you to let me spend the rest of my life making up for the years I lost. Emma pulled back to look at him. Really look at him. The boy she'd loved was gone. But the man who'd replaced him, scarred, dangerous, broken, this man would burn down the world to keep them safe. I can't go back to who we were, she said softly. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to see who we could be. Who we are now. I'm scared. Me too. He cupped her face. But I promise you this, I will never leave again. I will never choose power over you. I will show up every single day, for you and for Sophia, whether you hate me or forgive me or anything in between. That's my promise. That's my redemption. Emma looked into his eyes and saw the truth. Saw the man who'd pushed their daughter on swings for hours. Who'd eaten cheap pizza like it was a feast. Who'd just risked his life without hesitation. One chance, she whispered. You get one more chance, Dante Rossi. Don't waste it. I won't. I swear to God I won't. He kissed her then, soft, reverent, like she was something precious he'd thought he'd lost forever. And Emma kissed him back, tasting salt from tears she couldn't quite hold back. When they pulled apart, Dante's phone buzzed. A photo from Tony, Sophia asleep in the safe house, Mr. Hoppers tucked under her arm. She's safe, Dante said. They're both safe. That's all that matters. What happens now? Now? We go get our daughter. We bring her home, to a real home, with security and space and everything she deserves. And tomorrow, I take you both for pancakes. And the day after that, we figure out what normal looks like. Together. You think it's that simple? No. It'll be hard. You'll have days where you hate me. Days where you regret giving me a chance. But I'll be there for all of them. The good days and the bad ones. Because you're worth fighting for, Emma. You always were. Emma leaned against him, exhausted and terrified and, for the first time in 8 years, hopeful. Okay, she said simply.
Okay.
6 months later, Emma stood on the balcony of their home, a real house, with a yard where Sophia could play and security that was invisible but always present. She watched Dante teaching their daughter how to ride a bike, his patience endless, his smile bright. He'd kept his promise. Showed up every day. Weathered her doubts, her anger, her moments of pushing him away. Never wavered. Never left. Slowly, painfully, she'd let herself believe. Let herself hope. Let herself love him again. A different love, harder and more real than the fairy tale they'd had at 20. "Mommy, look!" Sophia shouted, pedaling without training wheels for the first time. "I see you, baby. You're doing amazing." Dante caught Emma's eye and mouthed, "She's perfect." Emma mouthed back, "She is." Later that night, after Sophia was asleep, Dante found Emma in the kitchen. "Penny for your thoughts," he said. "Just thinking about how strange life is. 8 years ago, I thought I'd never see you again. Now you're here, every day, exactly when you say you'll be. I told you. I'm not leaving." "I know." Emma turned to face him. "And I think I'm ready to say something I've been scared to say." Dante went still, waiting. "I love you." The words came out soft but sure. "Not the way I did before. This is different. Scarred. But it's real. And it's yours, if you still want it." Dante crossed the room in 2 strides, pulling her into his arms. "If I want it? Emma, I've been waiting 8 years to hear those words again. I'll spend the rest of my life earning them every single day." He kissed her like she was oxygen and he'd been drowning. When they finally pulled apart, Emma smiled, a real smile, the first one in years that reached her eyes. "We're going to be okay," she said, surprised to find she believed it. "We're going to be more than okay." Dante rested his forehead against hers. "We're going to be everything I dreamed about when I was 20 years old and stupid enough to think I could live without you. We're going to be a family." "A family," Emma repeated, testing the word, liking how it felt. Through the baby monitor, they could hear Sophia talking in her sleep, something about princesses and dragons and daddies who stay. Emma leaned into Dante's embrace and let herself feel what she'd been denying for months. Safe. Loved. Home. The MAFIA boss had found the woman he'd betrayed. And what she'd done, forgiveness, second chances, love against all odds, had brought him to his knees. But in the end, it had lifted them both back up. Together. And that's where our story ends, with a family rebuilt from ashes, with love that survived betrayal, and with a future that's finally bright. If this journey moved you, hit that like button and share with someone who believes in second chances. More stories are coming. See you in the next one.